Well, good evening once again, or good afternoon. It could be good morning whenever you are watching this podcast. My name is Marvinetta Woodley Penn, and this is my show called All Stories Matter because I do believe that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, your story matters. It matters not only to you, but it matters to those around you. It matters to the universe of humanity, because the more stories that we have that are representative of all people, the better our world and our community. And it dribbles down, well, not dribbles down, but it does dribble. It dribbles down to the family. You know, when I was growing up, I would ask my mother, tell me your story. Tell me about your past. Tell me what life was like when you were a child my age. And she would always say, it's too painful. I don't even want to remember. And now that I don't have my mother, she's made her transition, it's like, oh my gosh, I do not know most of who this lady was. So it's left me with a lot of holes in her life, therefore a lot of holes in my life. So please, please, please remember, get to know somebody's story. Not being pushy, just a word of advice. Get to know somebody's story because indeed, all stories do matter. Now, I have my own business where I am collecting stories. I am trying to get those stories recorded and even staged sometimes. It's called Marvinetta Penn Consulting. I do a lot of work. If you like more information, you can always go to my website, marvinettapenconsulting.com. I think it's .com. Yeah. I'll be able to give you more information in the upcoming shows, though. Today, I am so excited to have two amazing guests that I will be learning more about as we go on today. But before I do, I have to give a shout out for a play that I am in at the Civic Theater. You know, I'm always in a play. Seems like every time I have a show, I'm promoting another show. I am in The Wedding Singer at the Civic Theater, and it starts this Friday, May 2nd. It is so good. This show is rip-roaring laughter from start to finish. You will truly enjoy it. So come out and see The Wedding Singer. It plays through May 18th. Hope to see you there. Back to my show today. I am so honored to have two amazing people in the studio, Dr. Regina Nelson and a young man that I just met a few minutes ago. But he was so interesting when I heard his voice. I'm like, I think I want you on my podcast also. So his name is Michael. That's all I needed to know because we're going to find out Michael's story together. So, but first, I'm going to begin with, because I met this young lady at an event for the League of Women Voters. Mm-hmm. And I was so impressed with the event. And then I saw her before everything got formally started. And I was like, interesting. I think I want to get to know her. And then I found out she was the guest speaker. I was like, okay. Great presentation, and I'm like, I need to have you on my show so that everybody else can know the wonderful things you do in the community. So without further ado, Dr. Regina, she is a doctor, tell me your story.
Oh, well, hi. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Where would you like me to begin?
You can begin wherever you would like to begin.
Okay.
Are you originally from Kalamazoo?
I am not, actually. I was born on the south side of Chicago, and I grew up 10 miles west of the city in Maywood, and I was there until I went to college at Loyola University of Chicago, and I got to live on campus, and the beautiful campus is on the North Shore, and I always joke that our campus was right on Lake Michigan, and it's one of the nicest places I've ever lived. It was very nice as a student. And then after college, I got a degree in psychology and political science. And at that time, I knew that I wanted to be a psychology professor. But I didn't know exactly what type of psychology I wanted to practice. And I had this internship experience working with young children who had special needs. And it just clicked for me. Like that age group, I just seemed to understand instinctually what they needed. And I loved the teaching part of it, like how they learned and developed. Mm-hmm. And I thought, so much changes every day with young children. This would be a topic that would fascinate me for years and decades. So I knew that was the career that I wanted to pursue. And then I went on to get my doctorate at University of Michigan, and I found a program that was education and psychology, so I was able to combine both of those programs to study educational psychology, which then brought me to Kalamazoo. It's a kind of a roundabout story. I didn't just come to Kalamazoo because of Western. I came because I was dating someone in Kalamazoo, and then got engaged. And then when we decided to get married, I came to Kalamazoo and just called Western to see if I could teach a class while I was finishing my dissertation. The opportunity was there to teach the class. I loved it. I love the students at Western.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You just gave them a call.
Exactly.
You just reached out and said, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call Western Michigan. Hello. Do you guys need a teacher? And they were like, sure.
Come in, let's talk.
What are the odds?
Exactly. So I thought, they're just going to let me know, what opportunities, and there would be a formal interview process. Yeah. But literally the day I came in, they were like, we looked at your resume, you're good to go. Here are 2 sections you can teach. We'll see you later. So
Michael, do you see how life works?
Right,
do you see how life works? When you are prepared, when you prepare yourself, you're doing something that you love. You keep taking those steps to make it happen. You do the hard work, because it is work. Getting any degree is difficult, and then going on to get even begin your PhD is a lot of work. I'm not even going to say it's hard. I'm going to say it's disciplined, intentional work. And when I say discipline, you have to set aside that time. You have to discipline yourself to stick to that schedule. You have to be intentional. I am going to do this. I will do this. I am doing this. And having some goals, intermittent goals, and just step by step, you'll get there. And then having the courage to say, I'm going to pick up this phone. I'm going to call the department. I don't know anyone, but I'm just going to do it. What is the worst that can happen?
Right.
They can say, we don't need you at this time, but at least you made the initial attempt. You walked in the door. They're like, this person they've got a lot of guts to even call. So this might be the person for us. And when you're ready, seems like the time is ready. The time is just opening up for you to step into it. So I just had to expound on that just a little, because we think that life is a series of coincidences. I think we make our own coincidences.
I'm glad that you framed it that way, because that's how I ended up in Kalamazoo. To me, it seemed like a coincidence. I was going back from Chicago to Ann Arbor, and my car died on the I-94 exit near Oakland. And the gentleman who helped me on the road ended up, we found out we had things in common, and then from there, relationship, and that is my husband, who I've been married to for 32 years, and he's from here. I would have never found Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
And I will always say, that was a coincidence. But I think it's just like you said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
That's right. That's
exactly.
Every time. Every time. We get in our own way so much by saying, I want this, and I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. And even though we're feeling this isn't quite working, it's not centered in me, and then we just have to release and say, you know what? I'm just gonna be open. Something's going to come. I'm going to stay open to see what that thing is, and it's going to be all good. So you met your husband. Tell the story if you don't mind. I know the story. You guys, whatever you think your husband would not mind hearing again, because he will see this podcast. So
Yeah. So like I said, I was driving back to school to Ann Arbor over a Thanksgiving break. And at the time in my doctoral program, it's funny how you talk about, it's perseverance, it's setting goals. And I felt like I had been doing everything right, but I was hitting these roadblocks. And I was kind of like, let me step back and figure out what am I getting in my own way. And so I thought, let me just start to explore some different things. And one of the things I wanted to explore was meditation. And I literally bought a book about it in Ann Arbor, was reading it over break at Thanksgiving, and started to have some clarity about just everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to worry about it. And meditation kind of helps you just be in the present with that, not worry. And My husband, actually, that's what he studies. So that's why it truly is that here I am starting to get into this new area, and I wanted a guide. And here he does appear as a friend. And that was a very pivotal friendship that helped me get through all of those hard times. And then from there, it developed into a relationship.
I didn't know that. Now, we did meet. I had a little cheat meeting with Dr. Nelson. But I didn't realize that you had just gotten into meditation, and your husband was already on that journey when you guys met. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he's been a meditator since he was 12, so he's kind of an outlier. It was something he found on his own too, and he tells the story that his mother would take him to meditation groups in Kalamazoo and sit in the car and wait for him, and then because that's what he wanted to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so does he teach someplace now? Is he part of a group?
He worked for the Fetzer Institute, which they studied science and religion, and that was the work that he did. So he has had wonderful experiences all over with different religious leaders. Since retired, and now he went back to his love, like, I'll just teach meditation wherever I can. So he does teach meditation now.
Awesome. So we have to talk about that. I meditate every morning before I get out of bed. I sit up and just set my timer. And do you meditate, Michael?
It's not like a meditate, but it's like when I get up and first get ready to go to school, it's like I sit there and just, like, get ready for myself, get ready for my day, like, like that.
Okay. This is some synergy I'm feeling in here. Yes. Awesome. So, Dr. Regina, we're going to put you on pause and come back to you because I just spoke with Michael, and I do want to bring you into the conversation. So, Michael, tell me your story.
So, I was
wherever you want to start.
I'm gonna start like from the beginning.
Okay, cool. Hey, it's a great place.
I was born in Salisbury, Maryland. I moved here when I was about around, I want to say 4 turning 5, and from that point, I had first started in school, like from kindergarten all the way up to, I'm in 12th grade now. I'm a senior, about to graduate, and
what school?
Kalamazoo Central.
Okay.
And so then I got about 22 more days there left. So
22.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't
yes,
get it
ma'am.
confused.
So after that, I'm the only one of my out of my 2 older sisters. I'm the only one who's gone through all K through 12. So then after that point, I plan on, after when I get out of high school, I plan on attending Ferris University up in Big Rapids to study digital media and get my associates in that. And I want to work in entertainment more like. And so it'd be like more in like, studios like Universal, like ABC, stuff like that. And yeah.
What do you want to do in those studios?
So I want to be in something that never like ends. I don't want to have like a job that like is the same cycle every day. Like for accounting, I feel like you sit at a desk and just sit in your own little cubicle all day and just type away every single day. It's the same cycle. I feel like I can't do that. I feel like if I was living the same life every single day, I wouldn't be able to do that. And so I feel like in entertainment, there's something new that you're at every time. Because like you could be shooting like a new show, a new movie. You can go from this location to that location, from being the director, from making the film or coming up with the film yourself, or being the writer and helping the director make the film that helps the dream come true from what they have. I just find that just very fascinating because I can't do the same thing over and over again.
Okay, so what did you love when you were, well, you're still young, you're 17, so you're quite young, but when you were even smaller, from as early as you can remember, what did you love doing?
So originally, like back in like elementary school, I had planned on being in the NFL, but as I had grown up, I'm not the tallest guy. I'm probably about like 5'1", and I was like, these kids are huge, so I'm not doing that. And I played football in middle school, and I realized, this ain't gonna work.
And so, not for you.
Right. And so then I had moved on to something else that I had also been interested in doing a lot. And so at the time in middle school, it was like a big craze to be like a YouTuber then. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a really cool thing to do. And so then I had tried it, but then like, you know how it goes first attempt, see it's not much going on, and you're like, not really as motivated to do it as much anymore. And then you see other people do it. They get somewhat of a success, but they're not like up there as like some YouTubers you would see today. And so then like things I would see today, and like, because now we're in like a age of streaming, and like people live stream where they're going and what they're doing. And like it's like they're going here, there, everywhere else. And like the thing that I love about it is just like you're like never in like one place. Like you're never like people can't say, oh yeah, he's at home. Like you call somebody like, oh yeah, you know he's not home. Or like you text somebody or like, where you at? And then they'll say, I'm in Puerto Rico or something like that. And it's just like, it's always fun to me, like, because I don't feel like staying in one place for too long. I don't like that.
That is interesting, and an interesting conversation that I would like to have before I ask you. After I ask you, what was your earliest passion that you can remember when you were a kid? What did you see yourself really getting involved in without thinking, this is what I want to do as an adult, but this is something that really kind of fills my spirit? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think, I was interested in a lot of things, but oddly enough, I was pretty shy and quiet around my family. I was an only child, so I was around adults a lot. So I just used to sit back and watch people and observe them, and then talk to my dad, who was also very quiet and had a similar personality, about what I was seeing, and he would talk to me like an adult, like just to break it down to me, like, oh yeah, this is what this means, this is why this person's acting that way. And I just remembered all of that, and I just became fascinated with human behavior. So some people would just say, oh, she's really quiet, but there was like a lot going on up there.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was school age and I went to school and I started to have my own circle of friends, people my age, I was like sharing all these insights, and I was getting in trouble a lot for talking too much. So the opposite thing was happening. And so we started to put these pieces together, and my parents would say, you have to, be respectful at school, but the things that you're saying and what you're doing, those are leadership qualities, because those students are liking you, because they would all gather around and listen to me more than they were listening to the teacher. So my parents just helped me see that skill set that I was developing could lead to many things. So, but yeah, that was always the thing. So even now, I just pick up on so many small things about human behavior, and most of them are funny to me, so I laugh probably more than the average person, because I see something and I'm just like, oh, that's kind of funny. Because I see everything, I notice everything. And so that still helps me now as a researcher, as a teacher, as a parent, as a speaker, as a leader, all those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I shouldn't say that word, because every time I say it, it reminds me of this song in The Wedding Singer. Awesome. But that's very interesting. Our behavior as young people sets the tone for what we do in our lives. I remember being around my family a lot. I was by myself. This was way before the age of social media. And we had the radio, maybe I grew up with one television in the house, and that was in the front room, in the main room of the house. And later on, there was a smaller television in my brother's room. But in my room, no, I had a record player in my room. But we would always have a lot of people at the house during the holidays. And everybody was older than me, so I would not engage. I would sit back and listen to the stories. And the stories just intrigued me, and I wanted to know more about the stories. So I became a writer, and I'm doing this podcast called All Stories Matter. So I challenge you, because most of what we talked about came from the inside out. While a lot of things, and this is no diss on you, but a lot of things you talked about came from the outside in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So I want to know what comes from inside you that has nothing to do with social media. I know you said that you wanted to be a football player. Did you like to run? Did you was there something in you that lended itself to? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Lended itself to sports.
Yeah, I would say it was more the rush. It was like that pump, like, oh yeah, I got this energy. I can do almost anything. I can like I can climb up a mountain. I could pick up a brick wall. I could smash through it. I could punch somebody and still live. I can fight a gorilla or something like that. It was just that rush of putting like forward and like, oh yeah, you can definitely do this. I don't know why, but it just brought me to like that point where I felt like I could just like power through anything, like a superhero, like Superman.
Okay, the rush. That's interesting. There was a rush. There was a feeling. Did other people identify that in you?
I would say they would sometimes, but not like all the time because they were practicing too as well. Because it would be most of my friends. It was most of my friends, and they were like, because they're doing it to like get to the next level. I'm here for fun.
Okay. So what did your parents say?
So
what did your parents see in you? Because sometimes our parents, like you said, your father and your parents said, okay, it's okay for you to do this, but you got to channel it in this direction. My parents just really noticed me, and so they surrounded me with the things that they saw that I was interested in. So can I just hear a little bit about your parents' influence?
Oh yeah, I was very high energy, and so I would do like a whole bunch of things and just bounce off the walls and whatnot. And so then I was putting thing to thing to thing, because before football I was doing taekwondo, and so I was breaking boards, doing kicking flips in the air and whatnot. And then once I gave that up, I had went to basketball then after that, and then I ran up and down the court. And then it actually took like 2 years worth of convincing to let me play football, because my dad only would say, he said, if your mom says yes, then go ahead. And she would never say yes. And so for about all of elementary school, all my friends would tell me about their little Rocket League and whatnot. And I would just miss out on all the fun, because they would be like, oh, yeah, we won the game. We won the championship. Now we got to go to Grand Rapids and whatnot and play in the state. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, man. And I would just feel left out. And so the thing is, it took until like my sixth grade year in middle school. And it wasn't even my mom who really said yes. It was my great grandmother, and I had went to go visit her for the summer, and we were all there. And then I had told her that I had wanted to play, and then she had told my mom, she said, let the boy play football. If he gets hurt, then that's on him. Then let him find out. And she said, all right then.
Grandmothers.
Right. Yeah. She came in clutch for me. I was so happy after that day. And so I would say after that, they saw that, like, I mean, if he's willing to do it, and if he's willing to go into the consequences of it, I mean, go ahead. He'll learn. He'll live, he'll learn. I'm more of like the type, like, you might tell me, but I'm going to do it myself to figure it out.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, very good. The rush, that stays with me. The rush, because you also said that you did not want to work a job where you're just sitting there. There would be no rush for you there.
Yes.
Nah. What do you think about that, Dr. Nelson?
Yeah. I mean, I smile because I see that a lot, because I work with people who are going to become teachers, and so I'm in classrooms a lot, and I see how much energy boys have, and I think about my own son. He had a lot of energy too, and sometimes how school is kind of hard because they don't want you to use that energy, right? And you have to sort of like keep it all in, and how much self-control do young children have? So it's nice. I love that your parents were like, okay, try this. May not be football, but try this thing. But then finally giving you the freedom, trusting you to say, okay, your grandmother at least, say, let them try it and let's see what happens. And we all need people in our lives to do that for us, don't we?
Yes. So as you've grown, did that make sense to you, Michael?
Yeah.
Putting that into that context and into that perspective. I really appreciate your insight on that, because I was like, Michael, we gotta focus. But no, that was really good. So, who do you think was most pivotal in your becoming who you are now?
Oh, my parents, most definitely. And every time I get a chance to talk about or tell my story, or when people give speeches like, oh, thank you for this award, and the people that I want to thank, I always thank my parents, because I always say they were my first and best teachers, and they were just really attentive and really loved me unconditionally and gave me the freedom to be myself. And that just allowed me to listen to my own voice inside. And I always say one of the reasons I went to Loyola University rather than a state school, because I really wanted to have that quiet space to listen to, like, what is my calling? What is my purpose? So here I was, like, that 17-year-old kid. Like, I wanted to know, like, I wanted to be on the path, and I didn't want to waste any time. I didn't want to like try this, try that. I wanted like, okay, let's sit down, let's focus, and let's get started on your mission. And I just was driven like that.
Oh my goodness.
And I do think it kind of, my dad was like that. He helped me set goals, and he, you know, guided me towards certain books. If that's what you're interested in, these are how people set goals and achieve big goals. Why don't you read that book? So like, you know, at 9 or 10, I've been reading these books on positive thinking and setting goals and motivation and all of that.
What an awesome dad.
Yeah.
On the south side, 10 miles away from the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, from Chicago. Mm-hmm. That is so cool. So where do you think he got it from?
He, at the time, was working as a laborer in Oscar Mayer, just meat packing, right?
Okay.
But he was dabbling into sales. So if you become into sales, they want you to read all of that to understand your customers and all of that.
Yes.
And I was his shadow. So like whatever he was doing, I was right up into it. And he never like pushed me away because he worked a lot. So he knew that anytime he was at home, that he had to sort of like, okay, you know, I'm not here all the time, but when I'm here, she's my focus. So, and I started to pick up whatever he did I wanted to do. Yeah.
That is so awesome. So awesome, Michael. Who would you say in your young life has been pivotal for you?
I would also say my parents as well, because they instilled a lot in me for like being a hard worker and whatnot, and like to just keep on going and even if you get knocked down, keep on going. Because I mean, at the end, there's nothing to sweat about at the end of the day. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the next day is coming, so might as well keep on going.
Might as well keep going toward what you really want, yeah, and to becoming the person.
Right.
The person that you really think you want to be, because you got a long life ahead of you. Wow, 17. Are you going to take advantage of the promise?
Yes, ma'am.
Very. Without any hesitation, you said that. I am so glad to hear that, because you know, Kalamazoo is very unique in many ways, but that Kalamazoo promise, all of you parents out there, oh my gosh, take advantage of the Kalamazoo promise. Make sure your child is on the path, as Dr. Nelson was in her childhood, as I think I was in my childhood, as Michael has been. Stay on that straight and narrow. It is not that difficult to just set your goals. Say, even if your goal is, I'm going to be early for school every day. Every day. I'm going to be 5 minutes early. I'm going to get there 5 minutes early. I'm going to be the first person at the door today. If it's a goal. And you know one thing about goals, one of the best things about goals to me, once you set a goal and you reach that goal and you get that rush of, wow, I actually did it. You want to do it again.
Right.
Yep.
And it becomes a habit.
Right.
Just like scrolling can become a habit. Achieving goals is a habit. Scrolling only empowers those people online and those media providers.
Yep.
TikTok is getting rich off you guys. Instagram getting rich. Richer, because they're already rich. Zuckerberg is one of the richest people in the world.
Right.
Why? Because he owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and probably many things more that we don't even know about. But whenever we're scrolling, he's getting, that's like ching, 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 ching. Not for you, but for Zuckerberg. So I wish more young people could understand that, and it becomes a habit that you don't even get a rush from. Or maybe you do get a rush. What do you think about that?
I mean, when I set a goal, I'd be ecstatic when I hit it. It's crazy, because I'm like, wow, like, I didn't think it was going to happen, but I actually did it, like, I didn't think, whoa. It's crazy to me. And then, like, when I do it again and again and again, it's like, I can really do whatever I really set my mind to. And if I keep on pacing toward that, I get better and better as a person.
Yes. Oh, Dr. Nelson, what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, it's exactly that. you know, as a professor and a teacher, I always try to set people up for success. Like to, once you have that first win and then you start to stack them, and then I can get out of the way, then you know what to do and how to do it, and you want to do it. It's not sort of, oh, it's only for the grade or it's for that. You want to get to the place where this makes me feel better about myself because I'm doing the best that I can. I'm living to my potential. And once you have that kind of drive, yeah, you are unstoppable.
That is awesome. The two of you are really giving me some great energy that I can take to my rehearsal because I was getting a little tired. But I'm like, ooh, I gotta go. I gotta go and learn all those steps. All those steps. Yes, yes. So tell us about your experience at Western and what you're doing now.
So I've been a professor at Western for 32 years, and I prepare future teachers. So I teach classes on child development, how to assess children, how to do research, and then when they're out in the field practicing their teaching, then I go out into the field, I observe them, give them feedback on the things that we're focusing on, and have them assess themselves and then set goals. So now that you got this part down, what do you want to focus on next?
Yes.
And so I love that. It's coaching, really,
Yes.
One-on-one coaching with students. And so that is primarily the work that I do. I have some big projects, and one big goal I had was that when they go into schools, and the students were sharing this, and the teachers who are already in Kalamazoo Public Schools said that our students don't have teachers that look like them, and most of our students are black students.
Yes.
And I only had one black teacher the whole time in K-12, so I totally get it, and it's sad to see that that's the experience of a lot of people. And so they're like, what can Western do to provide more teachers of color? And it's not like we don't recruit, but we heard that, you know, our pool of students of color at Western is not, you know, it's small. And then within that, people want to do other things. They're
Yes.
engineering, they think they're higher paying careers, more exciting
Yes.
careers.
Right.
And they just didn't have the role models to say that, oh, this would be a fun career. So I was able to think about people who are already in the schools, who already love it. How about those people? Say, you're already helping in the lunchroom, or you've been a teaching assistant. Would you like to be a teacher? What's stopping you from being a teacher? And we found out it was, I can't just quit my job and go back to school for 4 years and do this, or it costs too much. So we were able to remove those barriers with a large grant, and I developed a program that's called Urban Teacher Residency Program. And so we were able to get those people in KPS through a program in 1 year to become a teacher if they already had a bachelor's degree,
gosh.
get their classes paid for from Western. They got paid for their internship. Their classes are online, and I'm in there coaching them, so they're becoming really good teachers. So what it takes other people 4 years to do, with all of this support and focus, they can do it in 1 year, and they're committed to the district. They're going to stay. So that's the kind of work that I do. I like, okay, tell me what the problems are out there. How can we use the resources from the university to help with these problems?
What a wonderful perspective on doing things, on solving a problem. A lot of times people will go into, let's say, a school will create a curriculum, a program, and they're off in the corner. They say, well, we're looking at the research, and we've figured out that young people need to have, everybody needs to have biology 503. You know, you got to progress to biology 503, and the students are like, wait a minute, I barely passed biology 101, and I'm not even interested in that. Oh, but you're going to take it. This flipped it on his head and said, this is what we want. Now, how do we get there? We're going to start by assessing, doing an assessment. We're going to look at the issue. We're going to look at it from a lot of different perspectives. And then we're going to ask questions of the people who might be impacted by this. So a flip of that in a school would be that these teachers and the principal and everybody up here coming to you guys and saying, okay, we really need to improve science, our science outcomes. What do you guys think? You might say, well, some better science teachers, some more experiments, Can we incorporate some more AI into this? And then they're like, oh, so nobody has to take biology 513 or whatever it was over here, because it's like a community of people working together for one outcome. That's a beautiful program. Is it still going on?
It is. It was a 5-year grant, and the grant is ending this year. But now there's other funding from the state, so people can still do a similar program at Western. Yeah.
And don't you feel good having initiated something that has been successful?
Exactly. It's particularly when I talk to some of the teachers who have graduated from my program and who are now in Kalamazoo. They're rock stars, and people are telling them they're doing great. And they're so proud of themselves because they know how hard they work to get there, and they're excited to be with those kids every day and apply everything that they've learned. And so it's like, yes, that's exactly the kind of teachers that we want in the schools.
And then they are role models, because they say, at one time I was here. I might have been the lunch lady who was passing out your food, not even considering the fact that I could do anything differently or I could become even more than this. But because of this program, I'm able to get a rush from doing something that I really like, I really appreciate. Whoa, that is so inspiring. Michael, I know from our short conversation before the start of this show that you are doing something that you like here at Public Media. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
And how you found out about it, how you came to it? Yeah.
So I right now at Public Media Network, we're working on a 7 to 10 minute documentary of our choice, and my documentary is about it's called Are You Ready? And it's about high school seniors and if they can grasp the concept of, are you ready to finish high school? Can you believe that you might never see some of your friends ever again? Or like, are you ready for adulthood, basically? And like how it's like basically like a big hit, and like you don't know that you're in the good days until you leave them, basically.
What a wonderful idea. I know what I thought as a high school senior. I am so beyond this. I am so beyond high school. I am so ready for the next phase of my life. Oh my God, but that is a wonderful project. How's it going so far?
It's actually going pretty well, to be honest with you. I've been doing most of my friends, like I've been interviewing them, and it's like hearing their perspective, because I didn't think of because I'm ready. On my hand, I'm ready to go. I think I'm ready. I'm over this. And from hearing from their perspective, though, it's like they have more of like a sad approach, like, oh yeah, because a good amount of my friends, we're all separating and going to different places across the state, and we don't know when's the next time we could possibly see each other, meet up again. And hearing that from the other person's perspective, it was crazy to me at first, because I was like, oh man, you're gonna see me again, because you always have my number, you can text me, you can call me, but then people don't always text or call after you're always done. And it's like the peak of high school, so a lot of people peak, and then you never see them again, and then you just run into them in like a random Walmart. And so then it's just awkward after that. And
Oh, because your paths and your experiences have changed. Yes. So you're growing into who you are. They're growing into who they are. And you guys are not sharing as much along the way. Oh, that's going to be so interesting. Yeah. When are we going to get a chance to see it?
So I'm going to be finished with it, I'm hoping around May 10th. So right now I'm in the editing phase right now. I have one more interview to do. And so when I get that done, I'm gonna have it all. I'm gonna just spend like most of the week editing it, and I hope that it turns out the way it does. I'm gonna spend the week editing it. I don't care. I'm not going to sleep. I don't got much to lose. Yeah.
So did this project give you a rush?
This project, this project gave me a surreal feeling. Like I'm almost done, and I don't know how I feel about that, because I've yet to walk the stage. I have my cap and gown, and it's like, I put it on, I was like, wow, I've actually made it to this point. And it's like, you don't think of making it to that point until you're actually there, until people are telling you, oh yeah, you're about to graduate, you only have a few more days left, man, till you're grown, bills. And
it's not going to come that soon. Your mom, the day after graduation, I don't think she's going to be kicking you out.
Not that fast.
Because you're going on to college, and
yes,
that's
ma'am.
like a safety zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not quite an adult, and you're not in your mom's house. You're probably staying on campus.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not really bills. You've got another level to look forward to. Yes, but this project, doing this project, coming up with the concept, doing the interviews, seeing the different perspectives, and then being able to put it all together into a product that you can share with other people. How has that made you feel?
It's like, it makes me happy. It really does. And it's like the fact that I can share these people's stories and see their point of view from it.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you don't get everybody's point of view at graduation. You walk the stage, you go to the grad bash, and you never see them again. And from hearing them before they leave and getting like, so what do you think is going on? What do you see for your life coming up? Or what are you doing? And are you ready for it? And like seeing that and hearing what they have to say, it's always just like, it's insane to me. And so it's a weird concept.
I think, do you have anything before I go on?
No, I think it's an amazing project, and it would be interesting to do the follow-up, like, when you all are supposed to be graduating from college, to come back and interview those same people to see, the things.
A longitudinal study.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You might even be able to get some university support for that.
For
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fascinating. It is a big transition, and thank you for doing that for your friends to document. How are you feeling about that transition? Yeah.
It's still crazy to me because, I mean, I've been on visits and I was like, I could see me being here for a good few years. And then I have to be like, oh, I can't just be like, oh, I'm hungry. Mom, I'm hungry. I want Pop-Tarts. I can't just do that. Or I can't just be like, it's not my night to do the dishes, because every night's going to be my night to do dishes if I make food. I have more responsibilities to take upon myself, and like, got to get my oil changed. Where do I get oil from? Instead of going to Uncle Eddie's and getting it changed in 10 minutes, it's weird to me. But I feel like I can get the concept and hit the ground running, basically.
Yes.
And I feel like when I get that experience, I'll learn it from life, and I'll just pick up and run it.
Very good. Very good. So how did you get introduced to this program?
So my dad had actually sent me a link to it, and he's like, this will be a challenge for you. It's something like that. And so then I was like, at first I was a little bit hesitant. I was like, do I really want to do that? It's been like a good 15 weeks working on something that because at first I didn't have a topic at all. It took me about I want to say 5 weeks to come up with a good topic. Because at first I was going to do behind the scenes, what happens behind there, and how do the people feel that they don't get the recognition that they deserve. And I was like, I mean, that story's been done plenty of times. But then I thought about myself, and I was like, I'm about to be done.
Those are the best stories. That is really good fodder for any story, is to think about yourself. What really interests you and something you have some experience with. So that was excellent. Oh, boy. So you've been working with Mill? Is it Mill that you've been working with? And what is you don't have to say anything good or bad about Mill.
He's great. He's amazing.
I love Mill. He is really wonderful. Oh, so are you going to show that? Are you going to have a screening?
So there is a screening on the 17th, actually. I don't know much details about it. Mill knows more than I do, but I know that there is a screening on the 17th. So that'll probably be shown there. And I hope it comes out really well.
Are you going to invite some of the people that you interviewed?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, how precious would that be? How many people did you interview?
I did about 3.
Oh, cool. That would be so nice for you to invite them. Oh, so they could see themselves. Do you think they would come?
I think they would come. They're seeing themselves on the camera for about 10 minutes. They're definitely going to come.
Cool. That is so interesting. And you already said that you wanted to be in media, that you wanted a job at Universal, that you wanted something interesting where you wouldn't be doing the same thing all the time, and here you are already doing that. You did put those pieces together, didn't you? Very good. Very good. Who knows? With this documentary, you might be able to introduce it to some film festivals and, like I said, do a longitudinal study. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Before we go, because we got about 15 minutes, I want to know 2 things. As I told you, there's a special topic that I am researching. I'd love to do a documentary about this topic, just interviewing people on the street if they would respond for me. But before I get to that topic, I want to know what do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? What would your ideal life look like in the next 5 to 6 years? By then you'll be out of school. You will have started maybe a job. What does your ideal life look like in 5 to 6 years? Whichever one of you wants to go first.
Oh.
I know what mine looks like. Yes, but I don't want to go. I'm not going to say.
I mean, I feel like, well, I have a big ego. I feel like I'm going to be the best, basically.
The best at what?
Best at what I'm in my field. Like, because, I want to be, basically, at the end of the day, I want to be a director. I want to be
director of what?
Of shows, movies, television. Okay. I want to be the best in the field. I want you to know my name and you have never seen my face. And so then when you say, because you see Walt Disney Channel, you hear his name, you don't see his face a lot, or Ryan Coogler, see his name a lot, you don't see his face a lot, and doing interviews, making amazing movies like Black Panther or his new movie Centers that came out, or like directors like them, like I would love to like live like them, like in the next 5 years, high-rise apartment, just looking over the city and be like, oh yeah, I've made the future that I wanted for myself all that time ago, and making movies here, there, everywhere, and I just don't. That's how I feel.
So you want to be a movie maker? You want to be a movie director?
Yeah, I want to be the best movie maker.
The best movie director, because making a movie has a lot of spinning parts.
Oh yeah, and I love all the parts. I love being in every single part of it. I don't feel like there's any boring part of making a movie.
Okay.
There can't be.
And what are you going to major in college?
Digital media.
Oh,
so
digital
instead of
media.
just doing one part, I can learn multiple parts of it and going from here to there to here to there, instead of just doing film and just being like, oh, you can be a cameraman and that's it. Instead of just being a cameraman, I can be in like writing or like, the storyboards and whatnot, or like cinematography. And then I feel like in that, I can mold myself to be one of the best there is. And like, be one of the bigger names. All of them at once.
All
instead of just one topic.
From the bottom up.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Young man has vision for me.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Dr. Nelson?
Well, I'm at the other end of the spectrum, so I'm retiring from being a professor on August 14th, because that August 15th starts the new school year. They'll be doing that. I won't. Thank you. Well done. Thinking about what the next 5 years is a major transition for me, not to have that career, that work. But I do a lot of volunteer work, and that's how we met with the League of Women Voters. I'm very active in social justice, so I do see that taking up a lot of my time over the next 5 years. But one of the things that I've been really getting a rush from is building the next generation of leaders, because when I look around at these organizations, everybody is old. It's like, where are the young people, and how are we developing these leaders? Because we're not going to be here forever. So I think I want to spend some intentional time doing leadership development and just building my network with younger people, and then finding out what lights them up, and then connecting them to those opportunities that will be, like a leadership path for them. So I feel like I want to devote a lot of time to that. Of course, there's travel. I'll have more time for travel, and I love to do international travel. So I got a lot of trips planned for the next 5 years. And then, just spending more time with the people that I love, and that brings me a lot of joy.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, that sounds amazing. I love travel. Oh my gosh, love it. International travel, love it so much. I so want to take a trip right now, but for various reasons, I'm going to stay within the boundaries of the United States for a while, but I've got plans. The part that just thrills me, and I think is vital, is training the next generation of leaders in an intentional way. I was in the nonprofit world for a long time, for 25 years. I started an organization called Global Girls, loved it, did a lot with it, But when I realized that it was time for me to transition out of my role as the executive director, I turned it over to a young lady who grew up in the program. On the other hand, because I knew what happens when you stay too long. When you stay too long at the fair, which was a popular, have I stayed too long at the fair? It was a popular song when I was growing up. But you got to know when is your time to say goodbye, to exit. And so it was my time, and I turned it over. A lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They're so afraid that if they do, things are going to just fall apart. And you cannot operate with that kind of fear and have a productive whatever. So training that next generation is essential. And then training, helping people get out of the mindset that if I'm not here, it's going to go to hell in a handbasket.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And being a role model for that, because I think people don't know how to do those transitions until they see people do it.
Exactly.
And like, oh, I'm missing out on these opportunities by staying too long here.
Yes. And then your organization, we developed a succession plan when I decided that I wanted to leave, and it was difficult. I'm not going to say for 1 minute that I didn't have problems thinking what's going to happen to my baby, because I conceived it. And it was very difficult, but I knew that in order for the organization to grow beyond me, I had to get out. So having that conversation with leaders is just so essential, because too many of our organizations, I don't want to name any of them, but too many of our legacy organizations are losing membership because they don't have a pipeline. Anytime you have a basketball team, a football team, they have a bench.
Right.
And then they have a junior varsity squad. And then they'll have a professional baseball. They have these teams, these minor league teams all over the place, so they can bring people up through the pipeline.
Right.
But organizations don't think like that. So wonderful. But I want to also, you got a plan. I know she has a plan, right? She's been planning since she was knee high to a frog. Because that's just how she grew up, and I applaud you for that. The work that you're doing with the League of Women Voters is wonderful work. Can you just talk about that for a minute?
Sure.
I want to make sure I get that out.
One of the things that we do is we go to governmental meetings such as, Kalamazoo City Commission, public school boards, public library boards, county meetings, and just watch what's going on and what the issues are. And if we feel that that's an issue that we want to get more attention to in the community and have people think about it when it's time to vote, that this is a time where you can have some influence over those things, that we want to sort of, connect the dots for people. But it starts with people getting involved. And public media right here, you can watch all those meetings because they record them all and keep informed. But then once you have that information, what are you doing with it? And so that's where my work with the League is helping to connect it to organizations that can impact some of the issues that we see in Kalamazoo to make this a better place for all of us.
Wonderful. I really, I'm getting involved with the League also. This play, Civic Theater, has taken over my life somewhat, but I'm trying to diversify my activities, so I'm going to do some work with the League also. The part that I like, one of the main things I like about the organization and the efforts is it's not about what party you represent. It's not about who you vote for. It matters that you vote and that you are an informed voter.
Exactly.
To me. And that is so important. You are becoming of voting age now.
I'm pre-registered.
It's important that you not only vote, but that you are an informed voter. An uninformed voter, somebody who only votes because of what they saw as they were scrolling, can be almost as bad as a non-voter, in my opinion. In my opinion, because you make ill-informed decisions that have long-term consequences. Does that make sense? it's good to exercise your right to vote. And I think everybody should exercise their right to vote. It's just
Right.
like everybody should go to school. Yeah, everybody go to school. Now, let's try to get the best grades we can possibly get. That's a
Right.
whole other level.
Mhm.
Because not
Yeah.
only are you getting those grades and you're accomplishing those goals, but your information, your brain is growing. You know, you're getting goals, you're accomplishing goals that you can build on, like we were the scaffolding that we were talking about earlier. And then all of that adds up to a well-lived life, like Dr. Nelson. Bring it all back. You know, I'm so glad we were able to have this intergenerational. I hadn't planned on it,
Yeah.
but you know what? Sometimes the things that you don't plan wind up being some of the best things, some of the best experiences that you can have. So as you go through life, I like you to keep that in mind. It's not important always that you are able to see all the way from to the end, but it is important that you look around you and you stay present in those moments that you have, fully present in those moments, that you put this away a lot of the time. Just put it away and be totally present in the moment and open yourself up to allow things to come in and impact you and guide you and move you. Because I do believe you're going to become a director.
Oh, yeah.
I know that in my heart and soul. Would you like to give this young man any more? Another piece, just a little piece of advice?
Oh yeah, I think he already sort of knows how to build relationships. You have strong interpersonal skills, and that's going to take you really far. I mean, it's how you connect to people, how people see you. They're like, oh, that's a person I can trust. And when there's an opportunity, I remember him, and I'm going to call him and make sure. So the people who are talking about you when you're not in the room, that's the thing that moves you up the ladder, and you have those skills. So you need to know that. Just keep being you in that way, because that's a really strong skill and a talent that you already have, and it's going to take you far.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Now, there's one question I said I was going to ask, and that is about love. I am on a mission. I am on a mission to develop, to practice, and to spread a practical definition of love that will be of benefit to humanity. And I'm interested in how we come to our definitions of love. But I just want to start right now with what is love to you?
I would say love is showing care. Showing care to people that you're with all the time, and like, you know, when they're hungry, give them food. When they fall down, pick them up. Or when they're sad, you make them feel better. Maybe a rub on the back, maybe some hot soup. I don't know. Whatever makes you feel better. But providing that care to a person could really change their day, and that's for me, that's showing love.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I feel like the care is really important, and if I had to expand on that, it's reflecting the best in somebody. Like when I love you, I see you for who you are, and I hope that when you look at me, that I'm reflecting the best of you to you, so that you feel better about yourself. And when people love each other, they do that for each other all the time. That little cycle, that virtuous cycle of giving, getting it back, caring, getting it back. Yeah.
Good. Sounds like you guys have really good role models of that. Do you think that definition of love is the definition that most people have in the world today?
I would say so.
You do?
I would think so.
Oh, good.
I hope so. We know that sometimes how people express love,
Yes.
the translation, it's different. So they might think that's what love is, but then how they express it, for whatever reason, they have a hard time expressing it in that way. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. I know that can be that's a personal question, and it can be a little tricky. It can be uncomfortable for some people to express, and so that's why I'm teaching a class.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at love from the stereotypes that we have out there, especially love in relationships. We're going to talk about the different types of love, and love from history, the historical aspect of love. You know, people didn't always get married for love. There was a time when people got married because it was a good deal for families. So their romantic love came about, and now it's just like, oh, we can buy love on TV or we can buy love online, but is that love?
Right, right.
So let's come to an understanding about love. So in these last few minutes that we have together, I really want to thank you guys. And I want to know if there are any other questions that you have that I did not ask in this segment.
All my questions have been answered.
They
It's